my friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the budget I wrote out with you all last week. Seems like I just sat down and filmed this, and here I am already checking in with my budget results. So we're going to take a look at the various categories and how much I budgeted for those categories. We're going to look at how much I actually spent, see whether we are over budget or under budget for the week. It was a pretty good week, I think. There was definitely quite a bit of shopping this week, but I think for the most part, I stuck to my budget pretty well. Let's find out together, shall we? So I'm going to go into my little collection of pens here. I'm going to pull out a red pen. If I am over budget in a category, I will write that in red. And I'm going to pull in my black pen right here. I use the Eraseable pens from Parkoo, which I absolutely love. I make a whole heck of a lot of mistakes here on my channel when I'm doing simple math, and so Eraseable pen is a must. I'm not a big fan of writing in pencil, so I have my pens. I have my paycheck bill tracker here from the Budget Mom, which I just pulled out so that I could easily reference it, and my calendar at the same time. This calendar that you are seeing here I made for myself just using Silhouette Portrait, printed it out as a PDF, and I've been using it and loving it. Really excited about the printables I've been able to make for myself. It took me so long to finally come around to the idea that I could just make what I needed to use for budgeting rather than purchasing things from other people. Why not customize it for myself? My budgeting situation is a little bit unique, so why not, you know, make something that will work for my exact needs. So if you're not familiar with my situation, I am a 36-year-old stay-at-home mom living in Southeast Michigan. I have two older boys, so I'm not the typical stay-at-home parent with toddlers. My children are 18 and 13, so my oldest son is 18. He's an adult. He's living here at home. He primarily takes care of his own finances, pays us a little tiny bit of rent, works full-time. He's still included in our grocery budget and that sort of thing, but you know, he doesn't quite count on us quite as much as he used to. My youngest son is 13, and I am married to the love of my life. I have loved him for more than half of my life, and while I stay at home, he works full-time to support us. I also add a little tiny bit of income here with my YouTube channel. So by watching my YouTube videos, clicking the thumbs up button, clicking the subscribe button, you are helping my family. We are on a journey to pay off all of our credit card debt. We started with around 15 or 16 credit cards. We are now down to just 2 that carry a balance. We've recently had to cut back a little bit on how much we were sending to our credit card every week using the debt snowball method, but we're still chugging right along, hoping to be debt-free early next year. Our initial goal was the end of 2021, but with the way that we've had to kind of cut back a little bit on our payments, it's likely going to be 2022 now, but we're making progress every single week, and I document that journey here on my channel. Okay. I rambled a lot, but I have had some new subscribers, so I wanted to kind of introduce myself a little bit. Speaking of subscribers, I took a little peek, you guys, and I am getting really close to 7,500 subscribers, which is so exciting. I have been doing this YouTube thing for a lot of years, and I've had a lot of different types of videos on my channel over the years, but far and away, the favorite seems to be my budget videos. I've gained more subscribers in the last 1.5 to 2 years than I had in the first 4 years of my YouTube career here, so it's really exciting seeing my channel grow. If you have not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would click the subscribe button. Let's try to get to that 7,500 mark. I don't usually set subscriber goals, but I'm so excited. we're just like 40 subscribers away. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to help me reach that 7,500 subscriber goal, you can help me out by clicking the subscribe button. So last week we sat down, we filmed this budget together. I will link it in a card above if you missed it and you want to see me talk a little bit about my thought process and where all the money was going. But for now, we're going to take a look at my spending and track everything and make sure that we are under budget. So I use this calendar system here, and I track all of my expenses using a color coding system, which I kind of created for myself using these transaction tracking stickers that I made for myself using my silhouette portrait. Yellow is for food purchases, blue is bills, this gray color here is extra debt payments, green is for any miscellaneous transactions, and this light purple color is my spending. We also do pink for gas. So that's a little bit of a rundown. I go in every day as I'm spending money, put the stickers in to help me keep track of where all my money's going, and then I just kind of add all the categories up at the end of the week, fill in the actual column of my paycheck bill tracker, and that gives me an idea of how well I stuck to my budget. So we are looking at the week of July 13th through the 19th. So this line here on my calendar, my husband gets paid on Tuesdays, so that is when our budget week starts. We budget Tuesday to Monday. So without further ado, let's just start checking in with these numbers. So this first category here is bills, and this is where I put anything that gets paid through my checking account. So yes, it's bills that I pay through my checking account, but it's also any of my other expenses that I don't use cash for. I do a lot of my budgeting in cash. My envelopes, my typical like weekly spending is in cash. My sinking funds are in cash. The things I don't do in cash go here under this bills category, with the exception of my extra debt. That's separate just because we're celebrating that a little tiny bit. That money gets left in my checking account as well. So the first thing here on my list is Michigan Gas, which is our gas company, and I budgeted $46 for that. If you can see here, I actually just realized that I transposed these numbers. So let me fix that. That's the beauty of writing an erasable pen. You can just easily scrub out your mistakes. I really recommend the ones from Parkoo. Pilot makes some as well, the Friction brand erasable pen. They're all great. Highly recommend them. So I just transposed my two numbers. This should be 46 and this should be 212, which is exactly what I budgeted. Michigan Gas, I budgeted 46. That came out on the 16th. It was $46. I've checked it off because that got paid. So go ahead and write that 46 total in here under the actual column. Every single week I sit down with you guys, I go to film my video, and I say, this pen's out of ink. It's the same pen. I keep sticking it in my pen cup rather than just throwing it away. So let's grab a new one. And then for DTE, which is our electric bill, I budgeted $212, and that is exactly what came out. The only other thing here under this bills category is my gasoline. As I mentioned, I track my gas in the pink stickers. I budgeted $50. We filled up our gas tank on Tuesday, and it came out at $39. There were no other transactions, so we are under budget in that category as well. So let's go ahead and pull in my calculator. Let me up the brightness some so y'all can see what I'm doing here. I just use the calculator on my phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. That's a mouthful. I love the Samsung calculator because it keeps track of your numbers as you're adding them on a little list here, so you can easily see, you know, whether you missed a decimal point or you added an extra plus sign or whatever. I like that. Okay, so we spent 46 plus 212 plus 39 for a total of $297. And $308 is the amount that we budgeted for this category. We only spent $297, so I'll subtract that. We are $11 under budget. And I'm just going to write that 11 in here. This pen is brand new and it's having a hard time getting started. There we go. So $11 under budget for this category. That's good news. Now let's move on to our cash envelopes category. Okay, so now we are going to look at this envelope section and we're going to start out with food. So I gave us a whopping $300 to spend on food this week. This is eating out, it's also groceries and any household items, that sort of thing that I pick up while we are grocery shopping as well. Actually, let me zoom you guys in a little bit more because I know it's really hard to see. We'll make this work. So I budgeted $300 and all of my food transactions are in yellow. So we're going to start here on Tuesday when I got paid. I spent $75.39 at Walmart. We spent $89.18 at Aldi. And we spent $34.59 at a local restaurant where we had breakfast together as a family, which was lovely. So that's Tuesday. A whole lot of our money went right out that very first day. And then on Friday, we went and did a little bit more shopping. So at Aldi, we spent $16.58. I've been loving shopping at Aldi lately. I used to go to Aldi all the time, and then I got lazy and started doing the Walmart pickup all the time, and then the pandemic happened, so I continued with the Walmart pickup to avoid crowds and whatnot. But now that things are opening up a little bit more, it's a little bit safer, more people are getting vaccinated, that sort of thing. I've been going back in person for shopping. I've really been enjoying it, getting out of the house. We were cooped up for so long, and I'm able to do some price comparisons at Aldi and Walmart, and I'm loving that. And I can use Ibotta to get, cash rewards back. I do have a link down below where you can take you can take 10% off your order of $50 or more with the Walmart pickup if you are still staying safe and trying to avoid crowds. I also have my Ibotta link down below. If you have never used Ibotta, it's a great way to get cash back on the groceries you would be buying anyway. All you have to do is go in and select the various deals and things that you want and then shop. Really, really easy. You can check that out for more info. I've been using Receipt Hog and Fetch Rewards as well, so I'm going to link all of that stuff down below. If you are interested in saving money on your groceries, I highly recommend that. But yeah, that's my spiel. So definitely been loving Aldi lately. Then we went back to Walmart and spent a little bit more. Lots and lots of food and household items this week. And then $4.88 at Tim Hortons for coffee. And that is everything. So we spent $302.97, which is a tiny bit over budget. So I am going to use my red pen here, but I mean, $2 is nothing to sneeze at. I guess it's $3. Still pretty darn good. We came in pretty close. And you guys, it seems like no matter how much I budget for groceries, we always spend it all. Like, I'm pretty sure if I budgeted $600 for food, we would spend $602. It's just the nature of the beast. So next up here we have my husband's spending money. I give him his cash at the start of the week. If he does not use it all, he will roll it over into next week. He never ever comes back and asks me for more money. He's a rock star like that, so his $40 is always as budgeted. For my spending money, I went a little tiny bit over budget this week, and I knew I was going to do it, and I was okay with it because it was just a couple bucks. I budgeted $40. My spending is in this light purple color. You can see here I had just one transaction. I spent $42.39 on a Nintendo Switch controller. I got a new video game this week, which I've absolutely been loving. I had pulled that money for that video game out of a sinking fund I had been saving for a while in order to make that purchase. But it was difficult to play the game with just the Joy-Cons and the little Joy-Con grip, so I decided to get myself a controller with my spending money. It's a really beautiful controller and I love it, so I did go a little tiny bit over budget, $42.39. Not the end of the world again. Alrighty, so then we have, let me just go ahead and check that off. Then we have my son Austin's allowance. I gave him his 20 at the start of the week, much like my husband. That just came right out of my budget. That was as planned. And then for miscellaneous, I had just one transaction here. You can see it in green. It was 20 bucks. I used my $20 in miscellaneous cash, and that was as expected. So yeah, we're going to be a teeny tiny bit over budget here, but not a big deal. We were a little bit under budget here. We're going to be a little bit over budget here. It all comes out in the wash. You guys couldn't see that. See, that's the problem with zooming in. Sometimes I forget I'm zoomed in and then everything's out of frame and you guys are like, what are you talking about, Jessie? I can't see. All right, let's add this up. 302.97 plus 40 plus 42.39 plus 20 plus 20 is $425.36, so $5.36 over budget. Not too shabby. Oops, see. Trying to talk and calculate and write at the same time is hard, you guys, especially when the camera's running. If you film YouTube videos, I know a lot of my YouTube friends watch my videos. Hi friends, by the way. You know how difficult it is to do things on camera. It's like as soon as the camera comes out, my brain clicks off. Okay, so that is my cash envelope section. We are pretty much done with this calendar, I believe. Oh, with the exception of the extra debt payment. So we're gonna just skip here to this extra debt section here. I budgeted $250 to go to my Lowe's card. That came from the child tax credit we received this week. And that is exactly what I paid. You can see here, so I'm gonna mark that off and go ahead and write that in here just so that I can go ahead and put this calendar away. And we will finish this up here. So my sinking funds are always as planned. I go in as soon as I write out my budget for the week and I fill my sinking funds. That was a video that I uploaded last week as well. If you missed it, you can see me stuff all my cash envelopes. You can get a better look at my sinking fund setup. So check that video out if you missed it. Again, I'll link it in a little card above. But this was all as planned, so this is pretty easy. Just fill these numbers in. We put a grand total of $650 into our sinking funds last week. That was amazing. I was so excited to be able to do that. And the very last category we have here then, since we already took care of extra debt, I guess I could write in my extra debt total here. $250 was budgeted, $250 was spent. Very last section here is extra savings. This is our rollover. So we do a zero-based budget. So the way that we handle things is my husband gets his paycheck. We write that in here. You see it's not written in right now, and that's because I don't disclose my husband's income on my channel. He just asked that I not do that, so out of respect for him, I don't. So I will just write in how much his paycheck is, and then as we are going down each category, we will subtract that, right? So we will take his income, we'll take what we paid in bills and expenses, we'll take what we spent in cash envelopes, we'll take what we put into sinking funds and extra debt, and we'll subtract all of that out, and then whatever is left over, we will make our rollover amount. So that is the money we will take into next week to help us stay on track with our goals. We always like to roll money over because, you know, paycheck fluctuates week to week, income fluctuates, the amount of bills we have fluctuates, so we always like to have a little bit left over to hold on to and save for the next week, just so that we know that we have enough to cover all of our expenses. And so whatever we have left at the end of everything else, that is our rollover amount. I don't write the rollover amount in because then if I did, you could easily add up all of these totals and figure out how much we were working with, which totally defeats the purpose of not disclosing my husband's income. So whatever we had left, that will roll over into next week. I will write that in off camera. But overall, yeah, it was a really good week. We actually came in under budget overall. Even though we had this red ink here in this cash envelope section, we were a little tiny bit over, but the little tiny bit, the little tiny bit that we were under budget here made up for it. So our rollover amount's actually going to be just a few dollars more than what we had anticipated, which is always a good thing. So friends, that is it for my budget results for the week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today while I took care of this business. I appreciate you all so much for your support with my channel. Please, as I mentioned, click that subscribe button. Let's hit that 7,500 mark. I'm so excited. It seems like I've been on YouTube forever, and my channel has grown so slowly over the years, but it's such a blessing to see it continue to grow, and I appreciate all of you for watching. So thanks so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!